Today we are going to learn about B.Ed paper Pedagogy of Biological Science. The topic is Teaching Skills in Biological Science. The topic is Teaching Skills in Biological Science. Teaching means interactions of teacher and students. Teaching is engaging with the students and their level of understanding. Teaching includes all the activities of providing education and knowledge to students. The person who provides education is called teacher. His duty is to make students learn. Teaching is just to train the students so that they can stand on their own foot in society. Teaching is a relationship which is established between three focal points in education: the teacher, the child, and the subject. Okay, teaching is the process by which the teacher brings the child and the subject together. Teaching depends upon how the teacher performs his work. It is an art. Sincere and hardworking teacher will be always successful. He always prepared well for his classes, makes every effort to achieve the desired ends, and has very good classroom interaction. Teaching take place outside the classroom also. Learning by the students through informal contacts is effective and lasts longer. In the age of science and technology, due to the exploitation of knowledge, the process of teaching has reached new dimensions. Teaching is the way which affects the psychology of students towards subject. Teacher is a source of the knowledge to the students. What is like drops from ocean. Then the teaching has been defined in various ways. Edmund Amidon defined teaching is an interactive process primarily involving classroom talk which takes place between teacher and pupil and occurs during certain definable activity. Okay, then nature and characteristics of teaching. The main character of teaching is to provide guidance and training. Teaching is interaction between teacher and students. Teaching is an art to give knowledge to students in an effective way. Then teaching is a science to educate fact and causes of different topics of different subjects. Teaching is a continuous process. Then a teacher can teach effectively if he has full knowledge of the subject. Then teaching encourages students to learn more and more. Teaching is formal as well as informal. Teaching is provide knowledge to students is an interesting way. Then teaching is a tool to help students to adjust himself in society. These are the nature and characteristics of teaching. Then teaching skills. The major teaching skills. Large number of teaching skills have identified in bringing effective teaching. Allen and Ryan listed 14 teaching skills, and in 1983, Menon gave a list of 74 teaching skills. Then now a few important skill explain. First one, skill of introducing. First one, skill of introducing. In teaching, the way of introducing a lesson is more important. The proverb, good beginning is half of the work completed is also fit for teaching. The teacher, before introducing a lesson, has to motivate the students and establish cognitive and affective rapport with the students. Then, uh, the components of skill of introducing the lesson. First one, testing previous knowledge. Testing the previous knowledge. The tell a significance of a topic, gives importance of a new knowledge in our life situation. Then use of previous knowledge. Before giving new knowledge, teacher has to test the previous knowledge which is to be used in the new topic. Then use of appropriate device by way of asking few questions or asking students to write 2 or 3 sentences about the new topic. Then link with a new topic, integrate the old knowledge with the new knowledge, use the knowledge obtained from textbook, library book, etc. to teach the new topic. Then attention gaining, use of voice to focus attention, use clear and bold voice of focus attention. Then use appropriate teaching aids required to teach the topic to arouse pupil attentions. Charts, slides and PowerPoint presentation may be used. Okay, then gestures, use of gestures, eye contact. Gestures are indication of conveying messages by body movements. Eye contact is a signal for lack of interest in a person. Much of eye contact shows that is a threatening attitude. Okay, then second skill of explain. This is the skill of introducing. Then second one, skill of explaining. For an effective learning, explanation is teaching should be done effectively. Explaining bridges the gap is understanding the new knowledge by relating it to the past knowledge. Thus, explaining depends upon the past knowledge, the type of new knowledge and the relationship among them. Explanation can be more effective by using simple and clear language for clarity, single language for clarity. Then the components of the skill of explanation is first one, beginning the statement and explaining the links, concluding statement, questions to test people understanding, irrelevant statements, lacking in continuity, vague words and phrases. Okay, first one, beginning the statement. While explaining, the beginning statement must include central concept of the content. Statements such as today we are going to derive a formula or prove a theorem, etc. Beginning statement must gain attention of the students. Okay, then explaining links. While explaining the subject matter, use suitable link words between the concepts. Example, therefore, that is, why, since, because, hence, in order to, etc. Then third, concluding the statement. Concluding statement should summarize what the teacher explained. Students can summarize what they learn if concluding statements are meaningful. Then questions to test people understanding. Questions asked here or from the content explained. Teacher check the understanding of students by questioning. These questions will also help to analyze the performance of the explanation given by the teacher. Then irrelevant statement. Teachers should avoid irrelevant statements while explaining the topic. Then lacking in continuity. Knowledge given in classroom or information, facts, concept, etc. It should be given in sequence and in continuity. Then only the students clearly understands the concepts, facts and information. Then vague words and phrases. The teacher should not use vague words and phrases which is not understandable by the students. The vocabulary used should be clear and according to the level of students. This is the skill of explaining skill. Then next skill of questioning. Questioning is one of the most important skill in teaching. Questioning is one of the most important skill in teaching. It has to be developed by any teacher. While teacher teaches a lesson, he has to ask several questions related to the content. These type of questions are called teaching questions. After completing a lesson, questions will be asked to know whether the questions understand the content of teaching. These questions are called review questions. Teachers should be expert in asking questions. Good questions serve many purposes. Questions stimulate thinking. Questions help recalling facts, concepts and principles. Questions make active involvement in learning. Questions arouses the curiosity of the students. Generally, these are the three levels of questions. They are low order questions, middle level questions and higher order questions. First one, low order questions. Generally three levels of questions. First one, low order questions, middle level questions and higher level questions. Okay, the first one, low order questions. These questions, the low order questions, require the students to recall knowledge that they have learned. The questions of this level do not ensure understanding of the content or analyzing information but requires memorization. Okay, example, what are the various types of mixtures? Give reason for air is a mixture. Then intermediate level of questions. Then middle or intermediate level of questions, explaining the meaning of a concept or statement, compare or differentiate among two things, etc. or intermediate level of questions. For example, what is the difference between mixture and compound? Then explain how the speed of a vehicle is measured by a traffic control vehicle. Okay, then higher order questions. The higher order type of questions requires the students to use high levels of intellectual abilities such as comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis and evaluations. Okay, then the example of higher order questions are: sound waves cannot pass through vacuum or empty space. Describe an experiment to illustrate the above statement. Okay, this is the skill of questioning. Then next skill of stimulus variation. Variations. While teaching, teacher must draw attention of the students. For this, teacher uses some gestures, body movements, makes certain verbal statements, modulating the voice, etc. All these behaviors are related to stimulus variations. Then the components of the stimulus variation is movements, gestures, changing in speech pattern, change in interaction style, secure attention, pausing, oral visual switching. Okay, first one, movements. First, movements. Teacher should not stand in one place while teaching. He has to move from one place to another to write on the blackboard, to go near the appreciated student, to move toward a model, etc. Hence, in order to gain students' attention, a teacher has to move purposeful movements. Okay, movements is very very important in the skill of stimulus variation. Then gestures, use of appropriate gestures according to the content to emphasize importance, to explain emotions, make students to understand the message. Hard movement to describe shape, size, body movements and facial expression enhance the value of message. Then changing in speech pattern. If a teacher explains the content in the same modulation, then it is boring. Hence, in teaching, there should be voice modulation to pay attention to a particular point. Modulating the voice on situation, change in pitch, speed of voice will force his student to pay attention. Okay, then changing in the speech pattern. Then next one, change in interaction style. Change in interaction style. Teacher has to plan how students also involve in teaching. Asking questions from the students, asking students to do a sum on the blackboard. Students are encouraged to put few questions and teacher will answer it. To participate students in a seminar or discussion and teacher will tell it result, etc. are all called change in interaction. Then next is secure attention. Secure attention. While teaching, the teacher may use certain statements like this is important, look at this diagram, listen carefully, etc. etc. Okay, to draw attention. While writing on the blackboard, teacher draw attention by using color chalk for important message or underline the important points. Then pausing. Pausing means introducing silence during teaching. From this act, we can draw attention of the students while teaching continuously or at the time of asking questions. Teacher has to plan pausing and create attention. Then oral visual switching. While the teacher orally explains, students hearing. When the teacher exhibits aids or writes on blackboard, his visual sense is used. Such frequent changes from the oral to visual or from visual to oral help to secure people's attention. And this is the skill of stimulus variation. Then next skill of non-verbal cues. Skill of non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues has been defined as communications without words. Non-verbal cues has been defined as communication without words. Although verbal output can be turned off, non-verbal cannot. Teachers use non-verbal cues because words have limitations. There are numerous areas where non-verbal communication is more effective than verbal. Non-verbal signs are powerful. Non-verbal cues primarily express inner feelings. Non-verbal messages are likely to be more genuine. Then it signals can express feelings, thoughts, etc. Okay, then the components of the skills are body language, proximity, touch, eye contact, smell. Okay, first one, body language. Body movements have specific verbal transactions to explain the subject matter or to appreciate the students, we use body language to describe shape, size, body movements are helpful. Then proximity. When a teacher wants to convey message to a students or to control a problematic behavior student, he has to go near him and convey non-verbally. Touch. Biological contact with other is the most basic form of communications, and certain situations often communications that there is a problem. Then eye contact. It is a signal for lack of interest in a person. Too much eye contact shows that it is a threatening attitudes. Then chronemics. With the help of chronemics, we can draw attention of the students by means of waiting and pausing. While teaching, teacher has to plan waiting and pausing. By interesting the waiting time, you buy for yourself an opportunity to hear and to think. Increase your waiting time up to 5 seconds or longer for slow and shy students, and increase in waiting time helps students to respond to higher cognitive skills. And then smell. We can make identify things using smell. This can be used largely in lower standards. Okay, this is the skill of non-verbal cues. These are the components of the skill of non-verbal cues. Then next skill of reinforcement. Skill of reinforcement. All these behaviors are related to stimulus variation. Then the skill of reinforcement refers to the effective use of reinforcers. While teaching, a teacher asks questions and students replies it with correct answer. If the teacher simply goes to another question, then the student will not happy. If the teacher reinforces a correct answer with a smile or praise the student, then they will be happy. This is called reinforcement. Okay, the teacher has to practice using positive reinforcers and avoid the use of negative reinforcers in the classroom. By reinforcement, students participation is more in classroom activities. Then the different components of these skills are positive verbal reinforcement, positive non-verbal reinforcement, negative verbal statement, negative non-verbal reinforcement, wrong use of reinforcement, inappropriate use of reinforcement. First component, positive verbal reinforcement. When the students give correct response for a question, the teacher has to give positive verbal reinforcement such as good, very good, well, excellent, continue, etc. etc. Okay, this is the positive verbal reinforcement. Then the positive non-verbal reinforcement. The positive non-verbal reinforcement. When a student give correct response for a question, the teacher may give non-verbal reinforcement expressing happiness or with the help of body language. Teachers should use more positive reinforcers so that the students participation in is maximum in teaching activities. Okay, then negative verbal statement, the teacher should avoid using these type of negative verbal reinforcers, namely I do not like you, stop it, nonsense, you won't improve, you will fail in the examination, etc., etc. This is a negative verbal statement. These statement, the teacher should avoid using these type of negative verbal reinforcers. Okay, then next is negative non-verbal reinforcements. Teacher should not use these type of non-verbal negative reinforcers such as facial expression like frowning, sadness, moving away from responding student, looking at angry, etc. Okay, these are the negative non-verbal reinforcement. Then wrong use of reinforcement. Wrong use of reinforcement. When a student gives a wrong answer, teacher should avoid using words like idiot, stop, enough, or showing terror face, etc., which will hurt students and its enthusiasm will decrease in the subject. Then inappropriate use of reinforcement. Teachers should not use reinforcers in a delayed manner or using it always. Using the type of reinforcement affects the learning and decrease the motivation of the students. Okay, these are the skill of reinforcement. Then skill of closure. Next skill of closure. After teaching a subject matter in a better way, it is better to close it the same way. Then only the students feel pleasure and satisfaction. At the end of the lesson, it is necessary to make a quick review. What has been taught, applying new knowledge in various situations, associating new knowledge with old knowledge, and repeating important points. Various components of these skills are consolidations of major points, application of present knowledge, linking past knowledge with present knowledge, linking present knowledge with future learning. First one, consolidations of major points. While teaching, teacher has explained so many facts to explain the subject matter. At the end, he has to summarize it in a meaningful way. Then only student identify what they have learned. Then second component, application of present knowledge. After teaching new knowledge, the teacher has to explain how and where it is used with examples. Then only the students knows the importance of new knowledge and its application. For this, a teacher may use problem solving method. Then next component, linking past knowledge with present knowledge. Linking past knowledge with present knowledge. After explaining the new knowledge, teacher should link it with the past knowledge. Then only the students get a clear view about what they learned and feel that their knowledge has developed. Then next component, linking present knowledge with future learning. Linking present knowledge with future learning. The new knowledge learned by the student should be linked to the knowledge what they will going to study in future or in continuation to this knowledge. From this they will ready to learn more about this knowledge. These are the teaching skills in biological science. These are the teaching skills in biological skills. Thank you.